Why the phrase thunder and lightning and not lightning and thunder? So there was just a thunderstorm and my sister came with a question I couldn't answer. Why is it thunder and lightning? Because the lightning comes before the thunder. Shouldn't it be lightning and thunder? And now I wonder, where did the phrase thunder and lightning come from, and why isn't it lightning and thunder?
Most academic research on binomials which have frozen would seem to focus around the scan of the phrase. In short, it sounds better, i.e., is easier to say, more punchy, etc., one way than the other. The academic thought on the matter seems to discuss the detailed intricacies of why a pair scans better one way or another. So, where any lyricist might say of a pair, of course it scans better this way than the other way. The academic literature seems to investigate the why of that in detail. Here's a very worthwhile survey article. A basic in thought about the scan of binomials, if we care about previous thinking on the matter, would seem to be that the shorter scanning word goes first. In asking about the binomial, frozen nature of thunder and lightning, it's difficult to see why one wouldn't first, instantly, look at that aspect, since thunder and lightning is a perfect example of it with the shorter scan word going first. Note that this answer previously included some irrelevant survey material, such as a list of musical and poetic uses of the binomial in question. Useless and confusing, so redacted.
In the Latin Bible, it is written in Exodus 19 verses 16 to 25. I am advenerat tertius dies eti main and clarurat eti eki coeperant adiri tenitrua ac micar fulgura eti nubs densissima operair montem clangorc bucini via mentis per strepabat timuit populus caerat in castris. A widespread translation in the English Bible is: On the morning of the third day there was thunder and lightning, with a thick cloud over the mountain, and a very loud trumpet blast. Everyone in the camp trembled. The literal translation of Adiri tenitrua ac micar fulgura is, hear thunder and see lightning, in this precise, chronologically erroneous, order. We may imagine that today expression thunder and lightning is related to this Bible sentence. Edit: the whole New Testament was initially written in Greek, whilst the vast majority of the Old Testament was written in Hebrew. Exodus being a part of the Old Testament, the origin of the text is probably Hebrew. The Hebraic Bible was translated to Greek in the 3rd century BC. The first translation from Greek to Latin was the Vulgate by St. Jerome at end of the 4th century AD. To complete the answer, let's add at Mike's pertinent finding. It was thunders and lightnings, in the original Hebrew, too. See, Hebrew-English Exodus translation. Kalat Uvrakim. Kalat is thunder, feminine plural, and Uvrakim is lightning, masculine plural.
To the preceding answers I would add that between thunder and lightning, the thunder is the more substantial. Lightning is line of sight, decreases substantially with reflection, and can be completely obscured by clouds, forest canopy, your roof, etc. Thunder carries long distances, around corners, and penetrates most obstacles. Lightning is perceived visibly, whereas thunder is both heard and felt. Thunder can rattle your house. It is the more visceral of the two. Lightning is instantaneous, whereas thunder has stamina. It can roll on, reverberate, echo, and outlast the visible lightning by many seconds. These generalizations hold true unless of course the lightning strikes you or close to you. However, that occurrence is extremely rare in comparison. It's very common to feel vibrations of thunder, much less so to feel lightning. Thankfully. Although a previous answer quotes from the Bible as a possible source of this word pattern, the differential in how these are experienced may account for the ordering of the phrase in the Bible and elsewhere rather than it being happenstance. Update the 15th of September 2015. Thanks to a downvote on this answer, other responses, and subsequent discussion in the comments, I was inspired to sow a little research on this and learned a lot. The most helpful document I found was The Chicken or the Egg? A probabilistic analysis of English binomials by Benner and Levi, which was most enlightening. Based on an analysis of 692 binomial tokens from online corpora, we show that a number of semantic, metrical, and frequency constraints contribute significantly to ordering preferences, overshadowing the phonological factors that have traditionally been considered important. Cutting to the summary of the study, the authors write: The main trend we found in our data was the prominence of semantic over metrical constraints, and metrical over frequency constraints. We expect that a similar relationship might be found among these different levels of grammar in phenomena other than binomial formation, where semantic, phonological, and frequency factors are also relevant. The semantic constraints mentioned are precedence hierarchies based on meanings of the terms in the binomial. Constraints based on how the words are formed in the mouth and roll off the tongue, or how they sound, are valid as well, but in no way are mutually exclusive to semantic precedence. Amusingly, the explanation for the downvote on this answer, and my motivation to take time out for the internet searching, it was the assertion that my response above is merely a theory and an assertion that the ordering was based on how the words scan is a fact. The scholarly research I discovered seems to indicate that there are many competing theories of binomial construction which successfully predict binomial formation at high rates, and which appear to contribute to a complex hierarchical web of interacting causes. Although scanning was not mentioned by that name, multiple theories are based on the vocalization and sound of the words. Then too, several are based on factors such as those mentioned in this answer, how and how often terms A and B are experienced, and also successfully predict fixed binomials with high rates of success. According to the research I found, all of the competing theories are just that, theories, and none considered definitive, much less fact. When the most authoritative research available is theories, presumably any best answer would be a theory. When the research indicates an interdependent hierarchical web of causality, presumably any best answer would be based on one or more of them. What seems to have emerged is several answers converging on rightness, and which in aggregate appear to provide a mosaic of understanding, somewhat resembling the hierarchical causality web the authors in the cited paper describe. Though I barely had time for a cursory scan, I got the impression that any answer to this question claiming to be fact or claiming that any one of the competing causality theories is dominant to the exclusion of all others would necessarily be deficient. Much thanks to the downvoter for the motivation to do the searching and Marie Lua for the pointer to irreversible binomials which made the search productive. I see some other answers were downvoted for being equally wrong. Happy to be in such good company.
At some stage in their scientific analysis of the phenomena of lightning and thunder, people may have believed that thunder came first and that lightning emerged out of it. From a discussion of thunder and lightning as meteors of mixed kin, in John Gwilym, A Display of Heraldry, 1611. Thunder is an inflamed exhalation, which by his powerful force breaketh o'er the clouds violent lie, with great noise and terror. The forcible power thereof is rather apprehended by the ear, than subjected to the sight. Nevertheless, the ancient times how does the certain imaginary for me were be they would express the forcible power thereof, as also of the lightning. Lightning is a vehement eruption of an inflamed exhalation, proceeding from thunder, which though it is in time after thunder, yet it is first represented to our senses. By reason that our sight is far more subtle and apprehensive than is our hearing. And in regard that thunder and lightning do both proceed from one self cause, they ha in such their imaginary fiction conian them both vendor one for me, after this manner. In Hall's view, thunder comes first, as being the name of the inflamed exhalation that violently forces apart the clouds, whereas lightning is the vehement eruption of this exhalation, later in time but earlier in human perception due to the superior subtlety of our sight over our hearing. The OED 1971 edition offers this definition as 1b for thunder. B. Regarded as the destructive agent producing the effects usually attributed to the lightning, with A and PL, a thunderstroke or thunderbolt. Now only poet. Or rhetoric, exc figure. That early English speakers did not think of thunder as being merely the sound that accompanies lightning may also be seen from the word thunderbolt, which the OED dates to 1440 and assigns the following first definition. 1. A supposed bolt or dart formerly, and still vulgarly, believed to be the destructive agent in a lightning flash when it strikes anything. A flash of lightning conceived as an intensely hot solid body moving rapidly through the air and impinging upon something. In mythology, an attribute of Jove, Thor, or other deity. And again from the word thunderstroke, which the OED dates to 1587 and defines this way. A stroke of thunder, cf. Thunder SB1b, the impact of a lightning flash. For a lengthy, and quite confusing, discussion of various views of the ancients about thunder, lightning, and fulgurations, see the 1614 Thomas Lodge translation of the works both moral and natural of Lucius Annaeus Seneca, chapters 11 through 35 of the second book of Seneca's Of Natural Questions. In any event, I suspect that the precise wording, thunder and lightning, became a commonplace pairing in English. The phrase appears, in that order, in plays by Nash, Marlowe, and Johnson, for example, and in stage directions in two of Shakespeare's plays, Julius Caesar and Henry VI, Part 2, at a time when the natural phenomena of thunder and of lightning were understood quite differently from the way they are today, with thunder having, by some accounts, at least, the greater and earlier role in the combination.
If you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.